What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Almahdi. If you don't know who I am, I'm a multiple seven-figure Airbnb portfolio owner, and I'm actually at one of my properties here. And what I want to talk about in this video is exactly how I was able to have a tenant get an $11K per month, 2-month contract with me on a midterm rental basis, which actually feeds into the new strategy you need to be pivoting to if you're a short-term or looking to get into short-term rentals in 2026, whether you're an existing host or if you're brand new. Okay, so the strategy that I've been sharing is a combination of short-term and midterm rentals and what I call the hybrid B&B model. Okay, and this is what's separating myself from many other hosts that are relying only on one strategy, only on one platform or two platforms, and only focusing on, Airbnb or even only VRBO and Airbnb. The game has changed. And if you want properties that are going to actually make you profit in 2026, they need to have tons of amenities. So for example, I've talked a lot about this, but we're actually at, I've got a pool here. Here, let me just get up here. I want to show you exactly the kind of amenities that we're talking. So spa, pool. The guest just left, so there's some things that are still out. Some hammocks. We got a pool table, fire pit, pool table, ping pong. There's a golf driving range there, some toys around the corner for kids for climbing. But my point is, if you want to succeed in 2026, you need to be using midterm rentals as well to maximize your profit. Okay? And the strategy around that is not just listing your properties on Airbnb and VRBO and Booking.com, but what you really need to be doing is also listing your properties on a site called Furnished Finder. Okay, there's multiple sites. Furnished Finder is one of them, just to give you that here, right? But there's also other strategies where you can get more midterm rentals, and people on Furnished Finder are coming for work, coming with their families for at least 1 month or even longer. So that is exactly how this property, for example, the last 2 months was booked for a 2-month contract. And I was able to charge $11K a month. Now, my mortgage on this is half of that. All right. And this is in a time where this property and other hosts would probably only be able to charge, on a short-term basis, honestly, maybe $12K a month. So then they're going to have to pay short-term rental fees. Short-term rental taxes, the city. They're going to have turnover every couple of weeks. And that's not the optimal strategy if you are looking to maximize your profit. So when you can implement this strategy and on your slower seasons, or maybe not your peak seasons, you're able to plug in a guest for 1, 2, or 3 months that's coming for work or for an insurance claim. That is exactly how I was able to do that with this property. Okay, now your location is very important. This is in a quite sought after area, and as you can tell, it's also a higher end luxury property. So that is exactly what dominates in 2026. Now, you don't have to start with properties like this. I didn't start with this property, okay? And if you want to do rental arbitrage, where you rent a property from a landlord for a long-term basis and you re-rent it on Airbnb with the landlord's permission, that's called rental arbitrage. That's a great way to start and build cash flow and eventually be able to purchase properties like this and get massive tax savings. The point of this video is it's not about where you start, but it's about pivoting and being able to continuously maximize what the opportunity is based on how the opportunity has changed. So do not stay only on Airbnb, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to maximize your profit and compete with people like myself and my students who are implementing this strategy, we are pivoting to what works. Okay? And the reason this is so powerful is, think about this. If I was generating, let's say, $11K a month or $12K a month from a short-term rental basis on this property, after the turnover and guest cleanings and there's multiple like operational aspects of it, because that's what it takes to run a short-term rental. You can bypass all of that, plug in a tenant for 2 months, potentially even 3 months, and still be able to charge nearly what you're able to do on the short-term rental basis without having all of that turnover, without having to pay short-term rental taxes to the city, which are required in many cities. And that way you're left with much more profit in your pocket and no stress, and much less operational elements like the cleanings, et cetera, and managing people coming in and out. You don't need to do that. Okay. So if you want to learn exactly what these platforms are, I already gave you one, but then there's also, insurance claims, where insurance will completely pay for someone to be relocated while the property is getting worked on. If you want to learn exactly how to do all of that, you can click the link in the description. I have a completely free course that teaches you as a beginner, whether you own a property or not, when you want to do rental arbitrage, whether you want to do co-listing, or if you're ready to buy a property and take advantage of all of the advantages of owning property. Very powerful tax strategies. You can click the link in the description, watch my free course. It's completely free, and I teach this strategy in detail, okay? And for those of you that are actually more interested in working one-on-one with me, I'm opening my one-on-one program to a few students for this month, and you can apply to see if you qualify to work with me. And I would love to handhold you through the process, and that way you'll learn exactly what it is that you need to do without any guessing. You learn exactly how to find properties just like this one, how to research, whether you're doing rental arbitrage or co-listing. Finding the right property is the most important aspect of this business in 2026. Then comes implementing the best strategies so that you can maximize your profit and be able to even set it and forget it, truly. Okay? So these are all things that are very available to you to learn. I'm here to help you. If you have any questions, click the link in the description. You can apply to get in touch with me, or just leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you're able to learn, and if you're an existing host, how a tool like Furnished Finder, a platform like Furnished Finder, is working for you. So with that all being said, make sure that you're pivoting with your strategy if you're starting in short-term rentals. Again, it's called the hybrid model, and don't be late to that strategy, guys. Same thing with Airbnb. Everything is about timing. If you jumped into Airbnb 5, 6, 7 years ago, you could literally throw up any property, put any furniture, barely have any amenities, not even, and still be making money, okay? That's exactly what's going on here with the hybrid model that I just shared with you. And again, there's much more to it, but again, you can click the link and learn it step by step in the course. I hope this was helpful to you. Be great.